My wife, 37 years old, and I, 38 years old, have 3 kids, 12 years old, 10 years old, and 8 years old. She is in a constant state of overwhelm and very easily irritated, constantly complaining that it's all too much. I'm of course happy to help and do my fair share for the kids or household, but it's never enough because her standards are too high. She insists that one of us has to be up at 6:45 every morning to make sure the kids are ready and make the bus, which comes at 7:45. I told her they're old enough to not need that much help already. They can all dress themselves and pour themselves cereal and milk. There's no reason we have to be up. She says that cereal isn't a good enough breakfast. They need something more substantial, especially the 12-year-old, and that the 10-year-old has ADHD and will definitely struggle without help in the morning. Anyway, she wants to see them off and kiss them goodbye for the day. So she gets up. Then she gets upset that I never give her a morning off when all she needs to do is just take the morning off when she wants and let the kids handle themselves. Also, she is super strict about screen time during the week and is exhausted and snappy from arguing about it with the kids. She is upset that I don't support her strict limit of 2 hours a day. I say as long as homework is done, why not until bed? She says it's not healthy for them. They need to play outside or with games and toys, read some books, just entertain themselves in more ways than one. I agree they should enjoy other things, but not seeing why we have to make such a rigid limit. She also likes to get out on weekends and do stuff like zoos, museums, etc. But then complains about the planning for the outing and how grouchy the youngest gets by the end of it. And again, I say let's just chill at home and voila, you've cut the work. I'm an engaged and active parent. I'm not trying to get out of it, but I don't think I should have to help my wife dig herself out of her own self-created holes. She creates the stress for herself and then turns to me to alleviate it, which I think is unfair. Am I the idiot for telling her she needs to do less and then she won't need this level of help? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Your wife is essentially trying to enact boundaries and maintain a routine for 3 kids while you are not backing her up. It has to be monumentally frustrating for her to manage 3 middle elementary school-age kids on her own. A lot of that stress is probably because she is asking you to help, and because you don't see why you should have to do these things. Then she's stuck organizing and corralling the kids by herself. She probably wants to take the kids to the museum because it's fun for the kids, and you're doing that non-committal, I don't see why we have to do this, so I don't want to do it. So then it's all about you and not about the kids at all. It's majorly invalidating her feelings and her position as a parent. What are you doing right now in terms of helping the kids that makes you an active and engaged parent? While I read this post, I could just see the situation in my head. Your wife doing all the work, and then when the kids complain, letting her be the bad cop all the time while you sit on the couch and say, "It's fine, honey, just let them do it." And she probably wants to go in the next room and cry. Major. You're the idiot. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Help her out. Kids require a lot of work that you signed up for when you decided to have kids. Her high standards are literally the bare minimum. Every morning she is setting them up for success with no help from you, which is why she's so overwhelmed. Getting 3 kids ready in the mornings and making sure they are well fed before sending them off to school is such a blessing. The screen time is so reasonable and good, and she is encouraging them to be outside and have more of a childhood. It sounds like you want them to be tablet kids to get them off your back a little more. Give her a thank you and some appreciation because she is picking up your slack. Treat her more for doing so much and become a better parent and partner before it's too late. Comment 3. You're the idiot. Your wife's standards are just being a decent parent, and you are not doing your fair share if you aren't helping with these things you consider unnecessary. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old with ADHD are not ready to totally get themselves ready in the morning, and you'd know that if you didn't sleep through the morning routine every day. 2 hours of screen time a day is a totally reasonable boundary, and family time and enriching activities are also important. Maybe those can be cut down slightly, but just chill at home all the time isn't the answer either. Stop being lazy and become an actually engaged parent like your wife is. Now, for the next story. I, 24 years old female, have a twin sister, Maisie, 24 years old female. Maisie is pregnant with her first child and due in February, and the baby is going to be a boy. Last week she opened up to me and said that she and her husband, 26 years old male, have been fighting over baby names, and she said she's sick of hearing about it and just wants to settle on a name that they both like. Maisie and her husband are both a bit geeky, not that there's anything wrong with that. And she told me she wants to name the baby Luffy, as in the character from One Piece. Her husband doesn't want this name, and says the kid will be bullied. She asked for my honest opinion, and I told her that the name is silly, and her husband is right. I tried to say this gently, but really, how gently can you tell someone their idea is stupid? I suggested that she goes back to the drawing board on that one, and maybe look at names of lesser-known anime characters if that's what she wants. Maisie got upset and said the name is cute and we're both just being closed-minded. I told her she asked for my honest opinion and she got it. She kept trying to convince me that it was a good name, and the conversation was becoming hysterical, and I told her it's a stupid name, end of discussion. She started crying and left, and since then she's been giving me the cold shoulder. Our parents told me to just tell Maisie that I'm sorry because my words really upset her and I should have been nicer about it. Comment 1. Our parents told me to just tell Maisie that I'm sorry because my words really upset her and I should have been nicer about it. This has me wondering, were you actually mean or more harsh than you let on in this post? Or are your parents just protective of your sister? Luffy is not a good name for a child in my opinion. It's more suited for a stuffed animal or a new innovative pillow brand. Or something. You can have a unique name without it being comical. Comment 2. Not the idiot. That asterisk is asterisk, a stupid name, and that kid asterisk will asterisk be bullied. Kids have to live with their name until they're 18. Just because someone is super into anime or D&D or whatever, doesn't mean that should carry over into naming their child. Different? Fine. Unisex? Fine. A name practically guaranteed to get a kid bullied, you're an AH. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I think she's losing sight that she's naming a future adult, not a forever baby. She could use it as a nickname, but as a legal name, it's awful. Kids are brutal. They'll find any reason to bully if they're inclined to bully, but parents don't need to hand them material. Now, for the next story. I got divorced 5 years ago, and I lost a lot. My ex got the apartment and our car. I was okay with it because she had our children, and I wanted everything to be as stable as possible for them. I ended up moving in with my grandmother to make ends meet. My ex and I were doing a decent job of being co-parents, I think. I spent a lot of time with my kids, and I have never missed a child support payment. My grandmother became ill during COVID, and I was basically her caregiver. She made it through, but it knocked her on her ass. She passed away about 2 months ago. I am an only child, but my parents are both irresponsible, which is why they couldn't help me out when I needed somewhere to live. My grandmother made me her main beneficiary when she passed away. All that she said was to take care of my kids. I sold her house after I gave everyone their bequests. I took the money and the rest of the estate, and I bought myself a house and a car. Her house was old and not in a great neighborhood for kids. I also put money into my children's education fund. When my ex found out what I did, she got upset. She said that I owed her more child support now. I checked with my lawyer before I did anything. Money from an inheritance, the sale of a house, or a lottery win does not count as income. If I had invested the money instead, then the interest would count as income. She thinks I intentionally screwed her over. I think I now have a good, reliable car for work and a nice small house in a good neighborhood for when I have the kids with me. We are fighting about it, but I don't think I'm in the wrong. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. No. If she wants to go back to court to get child support readjusted, she is within her rights to do so. But just because you have a windfall from a death and ensuring that your kids have a safe way to and from your house that is also safe doesn't mean she is entitled to a cut of anything and everything you earn or receive financially. She isn't entitled to any windfall just because you have kids with her. I also would think that your finances largely haven't changed that much with the house purchase since your employment and all the other factors have stayed the same. So over time, the amount of money you are making in proportion to child support is still accurate, not the idiot. Comment 2. You're not the idiot. It sounds like you spent several years living tight, sharing an apartment with your grandmother, taking care of her, etc. You certainly weren't living high on the hog then, and you aren't now. You bought a small home and a reliable car, both things that will benefit your kids. You put money in their education funds. It sounds like you're being really responsible with the money, and she's just mad that she doesn't benefit from it. It's not like you came into a huge fortune and bought a beach condo and a private plane. Even if you had, you still wouldn't owe your ex squat for our purposes here. I hope your lawyer is correct. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Sounds like your ex wanted a bit of alimony, then extra child support. Are your kids getting sufficient child support now? Sound like they are? You invested in their future and provided them with a safe place for them to visit you with the inheritance. I'm not sure why your ex has a problem with that. Surely she wants them to be safe with you. Now, for the next story. I, 16-year-old female, have been in foster care since I was 6, and it's not great. I've been with my current foster parents, Bob and Lisa, for 4 years. It's better than other places, but they're biological kids. Adam, 12-year-old male, Braden, 11-year-old male, Charlie, 9-year-old male, don't like me. I mostly just stay quiet and keep my head down, but it's to the point that I legitimately hate the oldest two. Charlie is okay when the others aren't around. I think he mostly just goes along with his brothers. Bob and Lisa wanted to adopt me 2 years ago, and Adam had a screaming tantrum about it, and I told them I didn't want to be adopted. It was a rough time because everyone was trying to convince me to do it, and it hurt Bob and Lisa a lot that I said no, but I don't want brothers that hate me, and I don't think Bob and Lisa's family really wants me around. It came up again on my 16th birthday last month, and Bob and Lisa said that they really want me to be their daughter on paper, and for us to be a proper family. I don't think it would change anything, other than nobody could make me move to a different home. I like Bob and Lisa fine, but I know they treat me differently than their biological kids, and Adam and Braden remind me all the time that I'm not really family. So I don't feel like I belong here, and it'll just get worse if they adopt me. I said I don't think it's a good idea, but they asked me to think about it for a while, so I said I would. Bob's mom must have heard about it, because she caught me alone last weekend when she was over, and told me I was ungrateful, and have no reason to refuse. And it was generous of Bob and Lisa to take me in and give me a home in the first place, and they deserve better from me. I haven't told Bob and Lisa about it, but she might be right. They're nice to me, and I've been in much worse places, and they want to be my family after I age out. I don't think anyone else wants that, though, so I don't know if I'm being an idiot for hurting them or not. Now, for the next story. I, 42-year-old female, am a stepmom of 2 kids, Emma, 16-year-old female, and Luke, 15-year-old male, and a mom to my son Dex, 6-year-old male. I have been in a relationship with my husband for 11 years, and we have been married for 9 years. My stepkids are in our house every other week, and with their mom every other week. The relationship with my stepkids is okay. Not perfect, but not totally awful. They have always kept some walls up between me and them and my family. They are polite and they'll talk friendly enough, but they don't want to be a part of family things with us either. My mom has this cookbook that has been used by 4 generations of the family now. My grandma started it with her and her kids, and then my mom got it and shared it with me and my siblings, and now she shares it with her grandkids. Emma and Luke were offered to take part multiple times, and they have always said they weren't interested. My mom was a little upset, but understood that they might not be totally okay with that idea, and she has left it open for them to change their minds. Last year, Dex took part in the tradition for the first time with Mom and I. My stepkids did not want to join us, so we didn't force it. Dex regularly now cooks recipes from it with my mom, and sometimes me too. He loves it. He wants to add another recipe when he's older, something we've all done. The topic came up while my in-laws were around and Dex was telling them all about it. He mentioned how much he loves being part of it, and he loves cooking and baking. My in-laws asked if Emma and Luke had ever been a part of it, and we said no, they hadn't wanted to be. They asked why not, and we said they didn't seem the most comfortable with fully integrating like that as to be part of something. That is a family tradition on my side, but it will always be open for them to change their mind. They said we should have waited for them to include Dex, and how my family and I have shown we don't care if they're involved or not. I told them they might never change their minds. They said I have made it so they won't now. They know my biological kid is more wanted by my family. I said that's unfair. They have been offered the chance many times, and Dex shouldn't have to miss out because his siblings say no. They said that's my role as a mom of 3 instead of a mom of 1. I told them I would not make my son miss out just because my stepkids said no. They said that's why I'm wrong and why I am proving to be a poor parent to the non-bio kids that I have. My husband told them to leave and said they were wrong, but they insisted it was me who was wrong here. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot cheese and crackers. These kids are 16 and 15, legal adults in Sweden. For many things, not all, they are not 6 or 7-year-olds who are actually children and should have extra consideration for things. They are grown enough to know what they want and don't want. They said no, so it is a no. Dex is an actual little kid. He deserves to do things he wants to do despite what his step-siblings are doing or not doing. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Not every child, biological or step, has an equal interest in their parents' family traditions and/or cultural practices. Your in-laws need to accept and be happy for your biological son's interests and chill about their stepchildren's lack of interest. I would tell them that you don't show your love for someone by denying them opportunities. You show it by providing them with choices. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Absolutely not. In fact, you're being a good parent to all of them, being flexible to their wants. If stepkids didn't want to, that's fine, as you didn't push them to. In fact, your family left the door open for them in case they do change their minds. And Dex should not be told to wait. Have him shine on this awesome hobby of baking. In-laws went way out of bounds with these suggestions. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.